Alright guys, we are here at Xgames Minneapolis and I am once again teaming up with Vital BMX to do our second rider interview. And the rider that we are interviewing today is a BMX competition phenom. With the biggest tricks and consistency, second to none, he has cemented his legacy as the fiercest two-discipline rider of his time. He has helped push modern day park riding by literally finding a new way to ride a BMX bike and crack the codes to world's first tricks. So let's go sit down with Logan Martin. So Logan Martin, awesome to have you here for our second interview, and we're going to get straight into this. Growing up in Brisbane, Australia, what was your first BMX memory?
My first BMX memory, I think I got a 16-inch, I started going down to the skate park and stuff like that, and on the first day, I was going up the quarter, fakie, and I learned half cabs. So that was literally, that's what comes to my mind when you ask me.
That's really impressive. First day out there. And how old were you at that time?
I must have been about 12.
So you've had a relatively short time in BMX, especially the time you spent riding before you turned pro. How did BMX come so naturally to you?
I don't know. I just enjoyed the progression of it. When I first started, I just wanted to learn tricks, and I was pretty much riding every day. I guess I've always been good at things if I work at it. So when I was younger, I was playing football, and over time I became pretty decent at that as well. And yeah, I think my mum always said if I put my mind to stuff, I can do it. I can achieve it. And I really took that in, and yeah, I guess I just worked hard at being a good BMX rider, and it just come naturally over the years.
Because how old were you when you turned pro?
I think I must have been 19. Yeah, or 2013, yeah.
So 6 or 7 years before. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So Logan, you've earned the nickname The Machine because every time you're able to get on your BMX bike, you do your biggest tricks. What motivated you to take this path in BMX?
Just going back to when I first started riding, and I wanted to learn new tricks every day, and over the years I just wanted to do bigger and better tricks, and I thought that's the path that I wanted to take. I thought for me to become pro and do well at contests is doing big tricks, which obviously it is, but obviously there's a lot more to that. But yeah, just putting a lot of tricks together, and I really enjoyed doing tail whips and bar spins and flipping, and combining all that together really sort of suited the way I wanted to ride.
So pretty early on, you had your sights set on being a competitive rider.
When I first started riding, I was obviously getting more and more into it, so I was watching it online, I was watching it on the TV, and when I was watching Xgames and Dew Tour and watching yourself on TV when I was younger, it's damn, I want to be there. I want to be at those big events, and doing the biggest, craziest tricks in front of a big crowd and on the TV. So yeah, that's sort of where my progression came in.
So that leads us to our next question. You wanted to become a professional BMX rider that competed. Now you are one that competes. What's it like being a rider that focuses so heavily on competition?
It's amazing. I've literally made it in BMX to where I wanted to. I'm competing at all the big events in the world, doing well at them. But it doesn't come without the hard work. It's stressful at times. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It was hard to get to the top. It's harder to stay at the top, I believe. But I wouldn't change it. It's unreal. It's an amazing feeling. Yeah.
And when you say it's stressful, what parts of being a pro rider is stressful?
It's when you're at events and stuff like that. It's obviously a lot more stressful. You obviously set out what you want to achieve at that contest, and it's you don't know how it's going to play out until it plays out. So it's leading into the event. It's always a bit stressful, but it's also stressful in the sense of anything can happen. It's a dangerous sport. We obviously want to stay as healthy as we can, but we have risks every time we ride. So it's also stressful in that sense too.
So what do you think is the hardest part about being a professional rider?
The hardest part about being a professional rider, I guess you've obviously got to be pushing yourself every day while you're at home, doing all your biggest stuff. But it also, some days you don't have many people to ride with because they're all at their own jobs and stuff like that. So some days it's a little unmotivating, but you've still got to go there, do the work, which makes it a little bit difficult if it's hard to find motivation within yourself. Which I don't really struggle with that. I go there, I get the job done most days. So that makes it a bit difficult. And that varies on each person. Yeah, it's finding motivation within yourself when you don't have too many people to ride with.
I can totally relate to that one. Me having my own skate park over the years gave me a place to go to and ride with everybody. But you having your own spot in your backyard now, does that seem to help?
Yeah, definitely. So I did just build a skate park in my backyard, and it's definitely helped the motivation a lot in the sense of I have a good place to ride. Over the last few years, we haven't had many good spots to, I guess, train at. So now having that facility has given me a lot more motivation. I can go and do my bigger tricks in a safer environment, and it's in the comfort of my own home, in a sense. And yeah, on those days where I have no one to ride with, Kim's at home, so she can, watch me if something was to go bad or whatever. I don't really like to ride at a skate park when no one's watching or there's no one to ride with. It gets dangerous. So yeah, it's definitely helped my motivation a lot, and it's really good to have someone be able to watch all the time as well.
So everybody knows by now that BMX is a part of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. BMX Park is the first event that makes it in there. So you being a rider representing Australia, what does BMX being in the Olympics mean to you?
Yeah, so I think 2017 we found out that BMX was going to the Olympics, and obviously I had my sights set on it. It's another contest. It's the biggest stage of them all. So I'm definitely all for it. Obviously, when I first started riding BMX, it was never a goal to get to the Olympics because we weren't in the Olympics. So now it's an added goal, I guess. So I'm definitely excited, and we're currently in the qualifying period for the Olympics. So it's super exciting, and it's a full-on journey in itself. It's really, really tight to qualify into the Olympics. So right now I'm playing a bit of catch up, but because I missed a few events due to an injury. But it's definitely exciting, and I'm super excited for the more qualifying events coming up, and hopefully I can make it to Tokyo.
So if you make it to Tokyo, that is going to be the pinnacle of the biggest event ever for BMX. Like, do you feel like X Games, things like this, these kind of moments prepared you to get to a situation where you have to perform like that?
Yeah, I believe obviously the more contests you ride, the more you're riding under pressure. The more you get used to riding in those circumstances, battling different elements every contest. Because you really are learning something new every time you ride a contest. So it definitely helps riding these events before the Olympics. And once you get to the Olympics, I guess you can tame your nerves a little bit and be ready for the event.
A lot of people in BMX try to compete, but a lot of guys that are really good, they have trouble competing because they can't handle the pressure. Were you always naturally able to handle the pressure, or was this something you had to work for?
I guess I've always been able to contain myself. It's a big mental game as well. It's not just be good on a bike and you can do well at a contest. There's a lot of mental to it, probably more than the physical aspect of it. Just being within your own mind, being able to contain the nerves and throw down under that pressure is really something that's difficult to do. And I guess for myself, it just happened naturally. I think. I guess I go into the mindset of I've put in the work. I should be able to do it on the day. So let's go and do what I do every other day. And it does come down to that. I feel confident and comfortable on the day because I've done the work previously.
Logan, I couldn't believe it when I first saw you do this. In my 20-year BMX career up to this point, I never saw any other rider do this before. You actually remove your foot from the pedal and place it on your crank arm for certain tricks. When and why did this happen?
I guess it come about from learning bar spins. I guess naturally my foot went to the crank arm to clamp the frame, stop the bike from tipping over. And I guess when I started learning whips, I was catching on the crank arm. And I'm like, well, it's pretty comfy on there for me. It just serves as a platform. I guess, if you're not pedaling, a pedal is just a platform as well. So I treated it as a platform. And over the years, doing bar spins, doing tail whips, I actually learned to pump transitions on my crank arm as well, because obviously if you're doing back-to-back stuff and I do tricks off my crank arm, it worked better if I just stayed on my crank arm to pump the transitions and do the next trick. So it just come from learning a few tricks, landing on the crank arm and being like, well, that's comfy. And then I just adjusted my riding to that, and it just become natural.
So is there certain tricks that you place it on the crank arm, like guaranteed, or is there certain tricks that you'd only place it on the pedal?
No, so it just goes there naturally. As soon as I pop, my foot just goes there. So I'll take off. If I'm going to do a truck or something, I'm not already on the crank arm. I'm going up on my pedal. If I've needed to pedal before, I'll be on my pedal. And then as soon as I spin, set up for the bar spin, my foot's already gone over there. So it just happens naturally. And I guess from when I've first learned the tricks, it just happened naturally. And yeah, I mean, that's the way my riding style sort of turned into over the years, and it was natural for me, and it was a comfy way for me to do it. I guess earlier on, maybe like 17, 18, I was probably standing on my crank arm a little bit too much. I didn't really need to be there, but so over the last few years, I've changed it. So if I don't need to be there, I'll be on my pedal. I'll go back to my pedal, which I think when I watch back, it looks better. I like the look of that more.
It's pretty crazy to hear, man, because I grew up, always seeing the pedal. That's the only thing you could stand on. And then I see you riding like that, and then I see so many kids around the world that are doing that. And it's all because of you. And it seems to work fine. It seems to work really good. So that leads us to our next question. And this is away from tricks. This is something that's kind of personal. So you just became a parent for the first time. And everyone that I talk to about this, they say that they never knew they could love something as much as they love their child. How does that affect a professional BMX rider?
Yeah, so that is 100% true. I have like a niece and nephew. Obviously I love them, but having my own boy right now it's hard to put into words. It really is. You cannot love something any more than that. It hasn't changed anything within my riding and stuff like that. It's just obviously I have more responsibilities now. I've got to provide for my family and stuff like that. But my mindset still stays the same on my bike. I'm here to get a job done, or if I'm at the skate park, I'm there to put in work. And it's just added responsibility. And we're at Xgames right now, obviously, and they come over for the flight. He's only 11 and a half weeks. But it's super chill. It's super good to have them here. And yeah, being a father is unreal. It's amazing.
Congratulations, man. Seems like you're very, very proud of Noah.
Definitely. It really is hard to put into words, but it's something so special. It really is. So
Logan, who is your favorite rider of all time? And what about that rider makes him so memorable?
My favorite rider when I was younger to watch was Brett Banasewicz. The pump he had was something special. And the way he just did tricks, like it looked super easy. So that really pushed my riding to want to go that way and make tricks look easier than what they actually are. Like obviously they're not easy to do, but if you can make something look easy, that's the way I wanted to do it. So yeah, Brett really had that about him, and he had a super crazy pump, and it's obviously unfortunate what happened. But yeah, Brett was really something special to watch.
I totally agree. That's a great answer. Brett was an amazing bike rider, and just seeing how he affected BMX in his short time as a pro is truly amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
So Logan, this is our last question of the interview. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy X Games schedule and making this happen. So in the future, when people think about Logan Martin as a rider, how do you want to be remembered?
So yeah, I guess I've never really thought in depth of a question like this. But if I was to answer it, I would like to be remembered as a serious competitor and being at the top for a very long time. I've over the last 7 or so years, I've tried to do the best I can at every event, and I believe I've done that. But say 10 years after I've stopped riding, if someone still remembers, oh, Logan killed it at every event or did this at every event, I guess that's how I'd like to be remembered. Just a hard-working, serious competitor. Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Logan Martin. If you guys want to get more information and watch some of the crazy tricks that Logan Martin does, you can go to his Instagram at Logan Martin BMX right now. Me and Vital BMX plan on doing a lot more of these interviews, taking key riders in our sport and showing you guys what makes them who they are. So look out for the next one in the future. But until next time, remember to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace.